So, when you're trained under certain circumstances of what you're meant to do and understanding the machinations of society, both in building it and understanding who's there to destroy it, you'll understand that there's certain things that go on and occur where patterns have meaning in life, and sometimes they're coincidences, and sometimes they're just outright obvious bullshit. So you got different entities like the Masons. A lot of the Masons, they're the bricklayers, right? They lay bricks, and that's just that's a metaphor for them basically building the foundation of society. Back in the day, they did simple things like roads and houses. Nowadays, it could be anything from being a judge to a lawyer to a police officer, EMT, firefighter, electrician, plumber, basically anybody that could show up to your house to repair your home, fix your car. It could just be anything. You have to basically believe in one true God, be the master of your craft, and I forget the third. Anyways, it's kind of an old joke where you get the third degree. It's where they give you an extra fucking hard time. You got 3 steps stepping up to the judge's bench where he sits, or he resides upon. I should technically say he resides upon. Anyways, those 3 steps are designate they are a metaphor or an allegory towards the first 3 degrees of masonry in the 33rd degree type of masonry. There's 2 different types. There's a 33rd degree and a 13th degree, depending on which sect you could call it, which particular organization. There's Scottish Rite and there's another rite. Anyways, and it's all spelled RITE, as in like rite of passage. I'm trying not to get too convoluted in what I'm trying to say here. So that's one organization that you talk about, like a secret society, as far as the Masons go. Most of the other ones aren't even talked about, so I don't even need to get into that. And then you've got other organizations, of course, you've got like Lions Club, you've got Rotary Club, you've got Shriners. There's a whole bunch of those, and every one of those kind of has its own simple purpose. It's got rules and regulation you have to abide by, reason for you to enter, purpose for you to enter, whether you're eligible or not, etc., etc. And form and function. You have to fulfill a purpose inside of the group. There's goals. There's essentially tests as far as your educational capabilities go, of what you've learned and what you can accomplish as far as understanding the core values and the concepts that are presented to you. And that's kind of how you would say you elevate yourself in those types of organizations. All of those are basically built in a pyramid format, where you have a few people at top who would be the most educated and most capable as far as their abilities go, of what they've understand and learned, the information that's been passed down from generation to generation. Almost every organization is built that way. Every single organization. I mean, Scientology is built that way. The Catholic Church in Rome is built that way with the Pope. Everything's built off of a pyramid anyways, where you've got what you call a figurehead. Like we've got a president in the United States, that would be considered the figurehead, the quote-unquote commander-in-chief, which is actually a fucking joke if you ask me, but that's our commander-in-chief in the country of the United States. And you've got prime ministers, and then you've got princes and kings in other countries, monarchs, essentially. So it all revolves around having one figurehead in each country, which is not the reality of the situation. It's not the case. But that's how it looks. It looks pretty that way for everyone involved that gets to watch TV and pretend that's how the world works. So then you've got other organizations like you got like the Mexican Mafia, the Italian Mafia, Irish Mafia, other various organizations. We could call them like Hamas, Hezbollah, people like Saddam Hussein and Osama bin Laden, which, Osama bin Laden was 6'6" with a turban on in a country where most people didn't even hit 6 foot, or if they were 6 foot tall, that would be tall. He was 6.5 feet tall with a fucking turban, and it took us years to be able to find him, which I find to be ridiculous, because we have spy satellites that would have been able to easily identify him sitting outside. As soon as you went outside, it would have been like, oh, there's a big ass motherfucker right there. Kind of like Colton Harris Moore, the Barefoot Bandit. That motherfucker was 6.5 feet tall. He went from a northwestern island in Washington State all the way down to Florida, Key West, Florida, hopped in an airplane and flew that fucking thing all the way over to the Bahamas before he got shot down. Guy's 6.5 feet tall and managed to hobble his dumbass all the way across the country unhindered. Anyways, cute little anecdotes. And Osama bin Laden, they dumped him in the ocean, right? So nobody got to see whether he lived or died under the ridiculous amount of bullshit that happened. And so you look at what happened in Ukraine, and what they did is they basically laundered a bunch of money through the country. The politicians laundered a bunch of fucking money through the country. And then they proceeded to just destroy the food supply there, which fucked up all of Europe. And then they overcharged the oil coming through Russia to Europe. So they started overpricing everyone, which is like, changing the supply and demand. You're increasing the cost because the supply going through Ukraine is potentially being cut off or damaged. So that's something. And then obviously a lot of the women in Ukraine, they ended up evacuating out of the country, and they ended up in probably dire straits and needing desperate ways to make money. Okay. And then the Congress there, or the government there, proposed to start a pornography industry in order to pay for the war. Now, this is where it gets fucked up. You see that and you're like, why would the government do that? And then you look at how Donald Trump is in order, and he's the one fucking around in Ukraine and causing the issues there. And then you also look at Gaza, and he wanted to basically kill a lot of the kids there, kill all of the population, and turn it into the Riviera. And I'm thinking, oh, his name's Don. Oh, yeah, okay, so Italian Mafia. What do? They do extortion. They do money laundering. They do prostitution. And they do real estate. I'm going, oh, yeah, okay, so that's a pretty big real estate scam right there, where you go fuck up Ukraine, and then you take all the women out of there, and you were to use them for prostitutes or pimp them out in porn studios, and then you want to go and take the Gaza and turn it into the fucking Riviera. You're looking pretty stupid right now. Everything you're doing, the way that you brag about it, and your machinations tell me that you're not only connected to Italian Mafia, but your name is Don. And no, when women figure this out in the world, there's going to be no woman that's going to want to be around you, because you think of them all like they're this, that, and the other thing, and you're killing kids too. You're fucking killing kids for your real estate scam, and you're probably turning the women of Ukraine into your little prostitute scam too, when I think about it. And obviously we have some issues about your family that are stories about where they came from and what they're about when it comes to Russia and other areas like that. So it looks like you're trying to do what you would call expand your business, buckaroo. And so where's your money coming from with your real estate scams, your money laundering, your tax evasion, your extortion, probably some prostitution as well. Anyways, you start looking at how you've been behaving in Ukraine and not really giving a fuck about that, and how you want to do to turn Riviera into basically your little real estate scam, or whatever you want to call it, Gaza into your little Riviera real estate scam. You're looking like a fucking idiot right now, especially as someone who's been basically programmed and built to see through your bullshit. So my question is, what are you going to say to the women of the world after you get caught for basically looking like an Italian Mafia member, treating Ukraine and Gaza like it's your fucking Aesop's fable, goose that laid the golden egg? What are you going to do then? Are you going to pray to God? Are you going to put your hand on the Bible and say, forgive me for my sin? Or are you going to rinse and repeat like a shitty little narcissist and pretend like you're not the fucking problem? What are you going to do now? I think you're in deep shit, and the whole world knows it.